Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. There is no denying that luxury compact crossovers are the hottest items on the market in 2021. It seems as though Americans just can't get enough of these vehicles. And for Mercedes Benz, the GLC is the hottest seller for the brand, taking the torch from the Mercedes Benz C-Class, which is a bit ironic because the GLC does have similar design cues to that vehicle. Now, the GLC has been highly requested for me to review after I featured the GLA and GLB back in 2020, and I'm really excited to see what Mercedes-Benz has to offer in this segment. Despite 2020 being a very up and down year in the automotive industry, the GLC actually outsold the Audi Q5 and fell just beneath the BMW X3. Now, one topic I want to get into very briefly is understanding the qualities and characteristics that you're going to find among the three major brands from Germany. So with BMW, everything's about the performance, driving dynamics, and handling, even for non-performance models. And that might turn off a lot of consumers who are just looking for a luxury crossover. Then Audi is going to give you a lot of eye candy and give you a lot of technology. And even in 2021, there are a large group of consumers that don't want to have technology integrated into their vehicles to the degree that we're seeing right now throughout the automotive industry. But Mercedes-Benz stays true to who they are. Everything's about luxury, refinement, quality, class, and sophistication. And you see that with the designs for the exterior, but also the interior quality. So in this video, we're going to take a good long look at the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 and compare it to the BMW X3 and Audi Q5 and see why, if you are looking for a luxury compact crossover, maybe buying a Mercedes-Benz might be a great decision. Now, before we get in this video, I'd like to thank Mercedes Benz of Burlington in Burlington, Massachusetts for allowing me to do this review. Their link will be in the description below so you can check out their extensive Mercedes-Benz inventory. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right in this review. Luxury compact crossovers are the bread and butter for most brands in 2021, as they not only bring refinement and an upmarket feel at a relatively affordable price, but the comfort features and overall practicality makes these vehicles appealing to many Americans. Back in the day, Germans were best known for their well-rounded sedans and unrivaled performance in the luxury car market. But as you've witnessed for over 10 years, they transitioned to instilling these same characteristics into crossovers. For Mercedes-Benz, the GLC brings a reserved and sophisticated style to this segment, while also symbolizing the evolution and transformation this brand has gone through to balance luxury and new technology in the modern age of the automotive world. Starting off with pricing, the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 4MATIC comes in at $45,200, with our model being equipped with optional features for a grand total just above $50,000. As consumer demand and taste change over time, the GLC has been a perfect fit since it replaced the GLK during the middle part of last decade. Not only did it shed the boxier road presence for a more streamlined look, but Mercedes-Benz also offers a coupe variant to appeal to enthusiasts who are drawn in by the sport-back design. In terms of dimensions, the GLC is slightly bigger than the GLB and falls right in line with its closest competitors. And while there is some plastic cladding found throughout the exterior, ground clearance comes in at 5.9 inches, so this crossover isn't the most off-road worthy, but still offers enough versatility to get you through the worst weather conditions Mother Nature has to offer. Taking a glance at the front fascia, The GLC's appearance is predominantly based off the Mercedes Benz C-Class, which actually adds a unique style to this compact crossover, as body lines are very car-like. Rather than being rugged and overly aggressive like most vehicles in this market, the GLC has a smoother, classier vibe that reflects the atmosphere you're going to experience once you step inside. For an additional $800, this model has the upgraded Intelligent Light System headlights with adaptive high beam assist for improved illumination at night, while also providing better visibility on dimly lit winding back roads. Depending on your personal preferences when it comes to aesthetics, this GLC receives chrome accents for the traditional Mercedes-Benz look, rather than the more aggressive front bumper design if you opt for the AMG line package that adds sporty credentials to this crossover. Moving over to the side profile, our model is sitting on the 18-inch split 5-spoke wheels, but Mercedes-Benz does offer a wide range of different designs and sizes, where you can opt for 19s or 20s that will help transform the overall appearance of the GLC. You'll have power folding side mirrors with turn signal indicators to go along with blind spot detection for added safety and peace of mind. Then coming around to the back, in true Mercedes-Benz fashion, chrome accents make their way under the rear diffuser for a classy look. Differentiating the GLC from the marginally smaller GLB is the sleeker angles, especially when taking a look at the C-pillar architecture and roofline. Its athletic, yet more reserved stature adds a refined and luxurious style that might not draw the most amount of attention, but certainly appeals to Mercedes-Benz loyalists who aren't looking for the flashiest crossover on the market. Then to round out the overall road presence of the GLC, a unique set of taillights helps distinguish this model from its siblings, while also providing an upscale personality. Under the hood, the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 is powered by a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that puts out 255 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission. While performance isn't a point of emphasis for non-AMG models, this crossover is capable of reaching 60 miles per hour in 6.1 seconds. However, if you're looking for improved efficiency while also having a quicker acceleration time, Mercedes-Benz does offer a plug-in hybrid variant. By opting for the 300 4MATIC, all-wheel drive will come standard to better suit the lives of consumers in colder regions of the US. For fuel economy, you can expect to see right around 21 miles per gallon in the city and 29 miles per gallon on the highway. Inside, we're greeted by power adjustable and heated silk beige leatherette seats for both the driver and passenger, offering a good amount of support despite not being very aggressively bolstered. For an additional $1,600, you can option for leather seats, and to add additional comfort and convenience, they can also be ventilated and have 3-position memory. If you're familiar with most new Mercedes-Benz vehicles, you're going to notice that the GLC has a slightly different interior compared to the GLA and GLB we featured in late 2020. There will be a refresh coming soon for the GLC, adding new technology and an updated cabin design. In front of you, our model has the optional 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, which is actually one of the more in-depth displays in this segment. By using the buttons mounted on the left side of the heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, you can fully customize what you see in front of you, including the theme of the gauges, which have their own distinct appearance. Resolution and quality are on par with rivals, and more than anything else, propels you into the 21st century and modernizes the interior. Moving over to the infotainment system, you'll have a 10.2-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, with onboard navigation being part of the $1,300 multimedia package. What drew my attention immediately was that this user interface can be controlled 3 different ways, by either using the touchpad found on the center console, the buttons found on the right side of the steering wheel, or of course, using the touchscreen. You'll also have an onboard assistant, where you can give audible commands such as turning on the 3-level heated seats and adjusting climate control to help keep your eyes on the road rather than focusing on the head unit. Enhancing your experience behind the wheel or in the passenger seat, This GLC has ambient lighting to help set the mood and give occupants a soothing atmosphere during their travels. An optional feature that I believe is essential, especially when maneuvering this crossover around town or in tight spots, is the surround view system, giving you a panoramic front and rear camera with trajectory, and top and side views to make it virtually impossible to get yourself into trouble or accidentally curb your wheels when parking. Below, you'll have 2 rows of buttons, with all your climate control settings found up top, and the quick access buttons to help navigate your way through the user interface on the bottom. Continuing on to the center console, a wireless phone charging pad provides a nicely sized storage compartment for your smartphone, and you'll find a USB-C input for connectivity. For the center console itself, here you'll find your drive mode selector, manual mode to shift through the gears yourself, auto start stop button, the volume knob, and the button to access your camera systems. For the center storage compartment, you'll have more than enough room for small items, and there will also be 2 additional USB-C inputs. And rounding out the front seating area, a panoramic moonroof will let in a lot of natural light to the interior. Now for passengers in the back, we're going to start off on the passenger side, and I adjusted the seat further back. It's also on a recline, and I have plenty of legroom to work with here. Now, luxury compact crossovers are very spacious when it comes to the interiors, and I think that's why a lot of people do upgrade over subcompact crossovers, despite the fact that these vehicles are a bit more pricey. But I think if you're on maybe 5'9", 5'10", you could sit back here very comfortably for sure. And then even with the panoramic moonroof, it doesn't really take away a lot of headspace. So I think that you could definitely have taller passengers back here on a daily basis, and they're not going to be claustrophobic in any way. Now, for the center seat, you get some great placements for your feet. And once again, when it comes to the legroom, very impressive, because really, even for compact crossovers, you get the sense that you can't really fit a third person back here. But I think you could definitely do it, especially if you have smaller passengers. If we're talking like 3 kids around maybe 8, 9 years old, they could definitely sit back here very comfortably. I think average size adults, I think on the rare occasion you could squeeze a third person in the center. But I think that this is actually doable for sure. This is definitely better than the GLA and GLB. And then for the driver's side, I adjusted the seat to someone of my height, around 5'5", and I have plenty of legroom to work with here. So I think overall the GLC is very practical from a interior room standpoint. I think you could definitely fit taller passengers back here, and also a family. I think that's what's really important with this vehicle, and why a lot of people do upgrade to a luxury compact crossover, simply because it provides more interior space, better practicality, but also it's better suitable for a family of 4, and maybe even a family of 5 on the very rare occasion. Also back here, you will get 2 rear air vents. Now, our model does not have the optional 3-level heated outboard seats. You will have a 12-volt outlet, and a feature we're seeing a lot more of in the automotive industry is a 2-pronged outlet, which I think is perfect if you have kids back here. They can plug in their iPad or their laptops. They can watch videos or movies, maybe even do their schoolwork since they work remotely now. But also it makes sense. It's definitely more practical and a necessity in 2021, because if you are going on a vacation and you're going to the mountains this time of year to ski and snowboard, or you're just going away during the summer and you're on a longer drive, kids don't have to worry about maybe losing battery life on their iPads. They can just plug it in, they'll be fine. So I think that there's a lot more versatility in that sense, having a 2-pronged outlet rather than a USB input. And then rounding out the rear seating area, you do get a center armrest with 2 cup holders and a cubby for a smartphone. Now, coming around to the back, you're going to receive a power liftgate. And inside you're going to find right around 19.5 cubic feet of rear cargo space. Now, that does not sound like a lot. It actually falls just beneath its closest rivals in that regard. But there is a few things to keep in mind. One being the fact that this particular generation has a lower roofline than most vehicles in this segment. And really, when it comes to width, you have plenty of room. So I think you could definitely fit groceries, smaller items, multiple bags of luggage. I don't think that this vehicle lacks in practicality in any way, shape, or form. However, if you do want to wait a year or two, the next generation, by all indications, is going to be larger than the current GLC I'm standing next to. So definitely keep that in mind. But if you don't need a vehicle that has plenty of cargo space, you don't really need that, then I think the GLC provides just enough practicality for a daily driver. Then with the second row seats folded, that space more than doubles in size to right around 56.5 cubic feet. So overall, the GLC is a practical crossover. And then on either side of the rear cargo area, you are going to find some quick release tabs to lower those rear seats. And unlike most vehicles and rivals in this segment, they're not plastic. They actually have a nice quality feel to them, more like aluminum. Then on the left side of the rear cargo area, you are going to have some netting for some smaller items. It appears as though we have our first aid kit already here in the back of this GLC. And you can fit water bottles, car detail equipment, or smaller items that might get thrown around while you're on a spirited drive. You're also going to have a rear cargo cover, which will keep all your valuable items out of sight. So if you are like me and you have camera gear with you at all times, and maybe you're going to a restaurant or you're just going out and leaving the vehicle unattended, you can have that peace of mind knowing that no one will be able to peek in and steal what you have. Lastly, beneath the floor mat, you will have a spare tire. So if you do encounter a flat on your journeys or travels, you can fix that and be back on the road. And then once you're done, just press the button and the lift gate will close automatically. All right, so let's take the Mercedes Benz GLC out for a test drive to see how it handles, how it performs, and is it better than the GLA and GLB I reviewed back in 2020, and is it worth paying the extra money for to upgrade to a compact crossover? Now, if you were to cross-shop the GLC and the GLB, and you were to test drive them back to back, what you're going to notice is that the GLC is much more refined, the interior quality is stepped up, and just how it drives and handles, it's a lot smoother than the GLA and GLB. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that both the GLA and GLB are built on a front-wheel drive bias platform, whereas the GLC is rear-wheel drive based, and you definitely feel that for sure. But also, I like the engine that's under the hood of this vehicle. The 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, it's smooth, it's relaxing. Paired with this 9-speed automatic transmission, it's just a really nice, serene driving experience. Now, adding to the quality of the ride and driving experience is the fact that we're on 18-inch wheels. You can upgrade to 19s and 20s, but if you're looking for the best comfort while you're driving, whether it's on the highway, the city, or in the suburbs, you're going to want to go with the 18-inch wheels. We also have a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel with very aggressive 10 and 2 positions. So if you do want to get frisky behind the wheel and want to have a nice engaging driving experience, you have that confidence, and it gives you that nice security when you are maneuvering this vehicle around. Now, currently we do have the GLC in comfort mode, and this is really where it's nice and relaxed. This is the mode you're going to want to be in if you're on the highway or you're going on long trips with the family. Say you're going to the mountains this time of year. But I'm interested in seeing how this performs in Sport Plus mode, and that's exactly what we're going to put the GLC in right now as we head onto the highway. Very smooth, much smoother than the GLA and GLB I reviewed. And you know, the thing is, for me as a car enthusiast, I'm not necessarily a big fan of sport mode in non-performance models, but I think that with the 9-speed automatic transmission and this engine, it pairs very well with this vehicle. Steering responsiveness does tighten up a bit. Of course, your throttle response gets a lot more aggressive as well. And this is really a mode I would be in at all times, more so than in the GLA and GLB. I felt that comfort mode was better for those specific models, whereas the GLC feels good enough in Sport Plus mode where I'd probably have this in this particular mode at all times. Now, of course, this is not an AMG model, so you can't really throw this into the corners. You feel the body roll, and this is not going to be a vehicle you're going to want to take on winding back roads and drive aggressively. You can definitely feel that the suspension is more softer, more comfortable, and obviously you're not going to be driving this vehicle for that reason anyway. You're not going to be driving very aggressively. Now, since we are at a red light, let's discuss the interior layout. of this vehicle, and I have to say, I love it. I really do. And the thing that I like the most is that we now have a 12-inch digital gauge cluster inside the GLC, but also I like where the infotainment system is placed as well. This is not the same setup that we find in most new Mercedes-Benz models. Now, the GLC is up for a refresh, and there will be a new generation coming out sometime around, I'd say 2022, 2023. It might be a 2023 model, but from all indications, the GLC will be a little bigger than the current generation, and also it's going to be more luxurious, of course. You're going to probably have that same like 2-foot digital cluster and the infotainment system merged together for that more modernized, futuristic look. But I have to say though, if you are opting for a 2021 model and you're not looking for the most up-to-date or more futuristic interior, then I say that this generation is very nice. It's a nice balance of luxury, somewhat old school technology in terms of layout, but I like that it has that nice balance of being more on the old school side of things rather than new technology, and I think a lot of people do like that still. See, what's really interesting is that with the gear shifts in Sport Plus mode, they actually don't rev very high, which personally I like, because I know a lot of brands, they have the revs go way too high, it holds the gears for way too long. This is tuned right. This is actually tuned to my liking. Now, getting back to overall comfort and the environment that you find yourself in behind the wheel of the GLC, what I do want to point out here is the fact that I find myself in more of a cocoon, more of an interior that wraps around you, more so than the GLB that I felt was pretty spacious in the interior. And I think it gives the GLC a much more premium feel behind the wheel, and that's why I think it is worth paying extra for over the GLB, despite the fact that I think the GLB has more interior space. So at the end of the day, I think what we can conclude here is that the Mercedes Benz GLC is a well-rounded luxury compact crossover that, in my opinion, emphasizes luxury more than any other aspect in this particular segment that we see from its rivals. That's why I feel as though Mercedes-Benz understands their customers more than any other brand in this segment and price range. But then when comparing this vehicle to the GLB, which you're going to notice immediately once you step inside and drive the GLC off the lot at the dealership, is that this vehicle is more refined, more luxurious, and more comfortable, despite the fact that a lot of journalists are saying that the GLB is more spacious and more practical. I still think that people are going to spend the extra money to buy a GLC just because it feels more premium and upscale, and most certainly more sophisticated when it comes to styling. But also, I just think that it balances everything really well. It's very luxurious, very comfortable, and of course you can upgrade to full leather seats. You have a plethora of options to choose from that will definitely make the driving experience more enjoyable. Of course, you get augmented reality, but I think that at around $52,000, which is the price point for this specific model, I think you're receiving quite a lot. But also, I think just in terms of the design, the interior layout, it's high quality. It's what you expect to see in a vehicle probably $20,000, $30,000 more expensive. So I just think that if you're looking for a luxury crossover, you're not looking to be drawn in by eye candy such as technology aspect, and maybe you don't even want that in your vehicle, and then you don't really want an aggressive driving style that's going to throw you back in your seat like BMW offers, then I think the Mercedes-Benz GLC is definitely a vehicle worth taking a look at, test driving, and maybe considering buying. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram to see what I'm up to and what vehicles I'll be featuring in the future for this channel. And I will see you guys next time.